Of the Sweetooth 16, sponsored by Undisclosed Energy Supplement. You have Warthog Twisted Metal 2, Minion the boss of Twisted Metal 1 clashing. Two very damage output heavy vehicles. It's going to be a tight match. Let's kind of talk through it here. When it comes to head-to-head, these two are very damage output heavy vehicles. Minion gets a slight edge here. From the gameplay, Minion is just a bully, causes so much ram damage. Its special move is not as crazy good as I really imagined when I started playing this game. He essentially just does every character's special move. I think Warthog actually has much better impact from his. It's a guaranteed 3 hits with very good tracking. Just from a direct head-on standpoint, Minion gets the advantage. I think Warthog can maneuver a little bit better than the tank vehicle from 1, but again, it's not significant enough to really booster one above the other. Now granted, I can't really jump to the tier list to evaluate this type of matchup since Minion does not appear on 1. Of course, I think he would be S tier based off of his ram damage, his special move output, his speed, durability, all that kind of stuff. Warthog is usually in an A or B tier. Very good special move. I think other than Minion, he has the highest armor in that game, surprisingly. He's a very durable card with very smack you right in the face special move. Speaking with the AI went 6-4-7-3 usually in favor of Minion in this matchup. I just think there's too many variables that a base car like Warthog is really, really good. I just don't think it has the tools to overcome a literal boss like Minion. I think, unfortunately, with this matchup, for Warthog, I'm going to have to go with Minion. I think tier list would agree. And my Skynet AI said it was a 7-3-6-4 matchup in favor of Minion. Surprise matchup here. We have Super Axel Twisted Metal 4, who is going up against Twisted Metal 3 Spectre. I didn't expect a car like this to really make that strong of a run personally. Never blew me away in the Twisted Metal 3 games, but obviously there's something to this vehicle that tier list AI, and I mean I've even picked him in some of these matchups considering that he's just a really good all-around version of the Spectre vehicle. And when we're talking tier list of these two cars, let's just jump right to it. Super Axel is pretty much S tier in everyone I've seen. Now, I've seen Spectre in S tier, I've seen him in B tier, I've seen him in A tier. People seem to really like this vehicle, but we're talking about from like an averaged perspective of which vehicle is better in the tier list specifically. That goes to Axel. Now, when we're talking about the AI, they picked this matchup in a shocker to me. I think because of Spectre's hit and run tactics, the ghost missile, and how close Axel has to be to deal out a ton of damage. Axel has a ton of armor. This car may have 7 bullet hole armor in my opinion, but the AI seemed to look at it from a speed and special move advantage for the Spectre vehicle. It went 8-2. Spectre would win this matchup. For this matchup, I want to be very specific on what I'm looking at here as far as better vehicle. I usually go with Axel when I play Twisted Metal 4. I just feel like his armor gives me such a huge advantage right off the bat, especially against like something like a Sweetooth special move. I do like Spectre in 3. His car specifically is one I've never really went to in any of the Twisted Metal games. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not my play style. I see why this vehicle was considered so strong though. Playing Twisted Metal 3 again with this vehicle really opened my eyes to the strengths of what that vehicle can do. But I'm going with the car I think that would win the matchups from close, near, far. I just think Axel has too much armor, too much special move, and Spectre, with its armor the way it is, I just don't think its special move bridges the gap on being good enough to do enough damage to impact this matchup in its favor. Super Axel advances. West bracket, we have Dark Tooth Twisted Metal 2, the final boss. Twisted Metal 2 Thumper crawls his way here after a grueling matchup with Roadkill 2. Let's take a look and dive into this matchup a little bit more. I remember as a kid beating the game and seeing this text for the first time. Holy shit. Then this giant bastard comes out, running you down. You literally have to run for your life, essentially, from this character. There's so much health. The special move is constantly floating around screen. He sends all of those like ricochet bombs after you. You cannot run. You cannot hide. But he's running into Thumper, who may be one of the most broken special moves in the series. He is a complementary playstyle that could basically do the hit and run tactics, and when it comes to these one-on-one confrontations, I feel like that special move would just absolutely wipe away that health bar. Tier list wise, we have to be honest here, we don't know what Darktooth would be. I'm assuming S tier since it's literally a boss character. But oddly enough, I've seen Thumper in S tier myself as far as how good the special move is. So that's really going to cause issues as far as like this voting situation goes. And to throw a wrench into this further, Thumper can straight up do this to Darktooth. So you can see Thumper can basically melt 1/3 of his life bar with a flamethrower shot. Now, because of how big of a target Darktooth is, he has no problem being frozen, hit with napalm, all of the big weapons of this game. It's very easy to get him to be susceptible to being a walking fortress. But I don't know if he has the health to really stand up to that type of barrage, especially the way that Thumper can pile damage on as quickly as he can. Now, armor-wise, I don't know if Thumper has enough armor to withstand being trapped, beat on, ram damaged to death by Darktooth. Here, I'm just going to give the tier list to Darktooth. Boss character, highest health pool, highest special, literally broken character, not meant to be a part of the game. When it comes to what Thumper could do though, from like a head-to-head standpoint, getting in close, using 2 of these specials, I did see the weakness of this matchup is his recharge time on a special. It's like 34 seconds, so he's really at a disadvantage. But if he lands 2 of these, you're doing like 2/3 health. You got a little bit to chip away with. Darktooth's such a huge target. Full napalms could hit him easily. He's not the most mobile character, but he could fill the screen with projectiles, do a lot of damage. Me personally, from an upset standpoint, I'm going with Darktooth. The problem is when it comes to the AI doing a best of 10 with this matchup, the best chances I was able to get Thumper was an 8-2 in favor of Darktooth. He has so much health. When I see people use the Game Shark cheat of this character, he insta-kills people so fast with ram damage. And, man, I really wanted Thumper to win, but the damn Skynet picks Darktooth. Darktooth advances. 4 matchup here. Calypso takes on the Trash Man. This is an interesting, kind of the same type of vehicle, different usage output as far as like their offense goes. Both really high defensive vehicles. Calypso being a 5-star armor, just an absolute unit. Horrible handling for both of these cars. Very, very sluggish battle that's about to take place. Both of these vehicles are 2 of my favorites to use in Twisted Metal 4, not only because they still don't feel super duper slow in comparison to the cast because of the game engine, but they have tons of armor and really my type of special moves. They're simple, easy to execute, and they do a lot of damage. I think in a matchup between 2 big cars like this, you'd have to say that the one with the melee type of special move would have the advantage, but I just think that for some reason, Calypso with this nuke, it's such a one-off, just insane move. Just look at this. This thing will straight up break the game at times from a frame rate perspective. Not saying that Trashman's doesn't either. I've had collisions with Trashman and Crusher or Goggle Eyes to where both are executing a special move, and it essentially takes the game to 2 to 5 frames per second. It's out of control. For this specific matchup, I think I would personally go with Calypso just because of the special move would be the big breaker to me. I think it does so much damage that it would put a big enough distance between him and Trash Man, and it would allow him to kind of keep that life lead for most of this type of matchup. My AI overrun of this matchup as well. The Skynet actually surprisingly went 7-3 in favor of Calypso. And I was sort of shocked by that because I think this is a much closer matchup than the 7-3, but that's not out of control. It essentially said when it gets to a long range type of matchup, Trash Man clearly is going to be outclassed. They both have special moves that regenerate, and it takes a long time. I just think Calypso's is going to be a lot more viable, and I think the AI agreed. Tier list wise, these guys are very even. They're usually in an A tier. Sometimes someone will throw them in S, sometimes someone will throw them in B. Most of the time, though, Calypso is still rated as a higher vehicle in most of these across the board. So Calypso is going to the top 8.